Hey, what's up YouTube? This is the We All Juggle Knives channel and you are at another Multi-Tool Monday episode. Today I have the Victorinox Parachutist. Yeah, I encountered this knife on Amazon and you know, I'm pretty much into Victorinox knives and Swiss knives. However, I had never heard of this knife before. You know, I saw this knife and I tried to look it up. I tried to find some YouTube videos because I was just curious about this model. I couldn't really find any reviews of it. I found a few like show and tell videos that were in like other languages. So I said, okay, I'll make a review of it. I'll try it. You know, I'm curious and just to add it to the collection and to make another video for you. So yeah, Victorinox Parachutist. Now there are two models of this. The other model is called the OH model for one-handed opening, and that model has an opening hole on one of the blades. However, that model is just not available anymore. That's like, it's discontinued and I couldn't find it anywhere. Alright, so this Swiss knife has two longer tools, both blades. You got the plain edge blade and you got the fully serrated blade, and the plain edge blade actually locks in place. It's got a liner lock. As for the smaller tools, you've got the Phillips screwdriver, or cross as they say in Germany. You've got the can opener with a screwdriver, and you've got a bottle opener with a screwdriver and the wire notch. And it also has the reamer tool, as well as the tweezers and the toothpick in the handle scales. Now, one thing to note, this bottle opener with the screwdriver is larger and heavier, and it locks, you know, compared to the smaller one on the smaller Swiss Army knives. This is my Ranger. Yeah, this implement is much more heavy duty than on the regular Victorinox, and that is so that you could use it to pry, like you could open a crate or something with it. It's actually bigger and stronger even than just the regular bottle opener on a normal larger size Victorinox. And the locking mechanism is that liner. It's quite ingenious really, because this is the same liner that actually locks the blade in place. The other end of the liner can lock the this implement in place. Oop. See my camera light? Yeah. Anyway, yeah, but that's pretty cool. I mean, that one liner is the lock for both of them, and it just gives you a little more security if you had to use this hard. First of all, you gotta ignore the name of this. You know, I don't really think it's for parachutists because this is not the one-handed opening model, so it's not really for that. Who is this for? It's more for people who want to carry a nice plain edge blade and a serrated blade, but they only want to carry one folding knife and not two. Initial sharpness. First we'll do the plain edge blade. And not bad. Got hung up slightly. I would give that an A-. And now for the serrated blade. Wow. Nice. Once it gets started, it actually did better than the plain edge. Alright, enough with the paper. Let's try some more difficult stuff. Serrated blade on Paracord. Wow, that didn't even require much force at all. I don't even have to pull it, I just... Alright, took a little force, but gotta be careful. Wow. This goes through like it's not even there. Alright, something more difficult. Alright, I got this old sheath and we're going to sacrifice this to the knife gods. This was like the sheath of some really crappy stainless steel machete that, trust me, I don't need the sheath anymore. It's about double the thickness of like your average like Cordura strap on webbing. Let me just saw through it. Doing this in midair, but as you can see, it really massacres this. Alright, let's try the like folded over method. See what it can do here. I got most of the way through. There we go. Let's do a little bit more sawing. Let's just saw a corner off. Alright, nice. You just gotta finish it by holding it. Alright, let's fold it over again. Hold on. There we go. I'm sure I could do that in one cut, but you know, I'm not a rescue worker. I'm not really used to cutting straps and stuff, but yeah, it's freaking sharp. A little more cutting while we're here, and obviously I'm not going to be using this sheath for anything after this, so we might as well just completely destroy it. Oh, I'm getting better at it. Yeah, that almost took it out in one cut. Yeah, so there it is. It took out that double thickness Cordura. And another thing I noticed about this sheath that I'm cutting, not only does it have like 2 layers of the nylon, but in between those 2 layers, it's got 2 layers of, I think it's supposed to be like imitation leather, whatever this is, but I mean, that's pretty thick. I mean, if you look at what it's cutting through, a lot of straps that you would cut would actually simply be like more like this one layer. So when you consider that, it is actually doing really well. In fact, let's see what it just does to one layer, you know. Hold on. And it just easily, I mean, it just easily goes through if it's only one layer. Let's see what it does to some cardboard. Now, why you would do that, I don't even know, but, you know. Nice. Nice, this nasty old cardboard. I mean, it cuts through it like a box cutter. You know, you're going to wear out your serrations, so I wouldn't recommend that, but if you had to, yeah, I'm definitely digging this thing. Let's massacre just the rest of this. It has only 1 layer thickness, but easily went through. These are some pretty well done and aggressive serrations. They've really done an excellent job. I mean, if you need to rip, tear, and slice through something, they really work well. And you know, they're different than the other Victorinox serrations. Like if you compare these to the Victorinox serrations on the, I believe this is the Serrated Spartan. You know, they might actually be the same, but just scaled up. But you can see they're just, they're bigger. I mean, they're just teeth that will rip into things. These little serrations are not bad either. Check that out. So, given that the uniqueness of this knife is all about the serrated blade, it's a good thing that it didn't suck, huh? Because then it would just be completely pointless. So, yeah, I mean, that serrated knife really, that blade, really makes or breaks the whole tool. In fact, they've done the serrated blade so well that it's a shame they didn't put the locking mechanism on the serrated, right, rather than on the plain edge. And also, it's a shame that they don't have like a one-handed opening hole for that blade. So really, the main selling points of this tool are that fully serrated blade that's just an aggressive lightsaber, just really well done, and that reinforced little multiple uses bottle opener pry bar tool that's locking. If you're buying this, you're probably buying it mainly for those, and for the locking plain edge blade. And now this knife is really a good segue for us to discuss these larger size Victorinox models in general. You know, these are some of my favorites. This one is called the Adventurer. I really like this knife because it's so simple, it's easy to carry. It's only 2 layers, you know, it has the typical opener tools. It's got the reamer and the screwdriver, and a nice locking blade. This is also good just because it's not very expensive and it's very simple, and you know, it's great for beginners. Like if your son or daughter is just getting into camping and stuff, this would make an excellent starter Swiss knife. This is another really good larger size Victorinox. This is the Hunter. It's 3 layers, just like the Parachutist. It's got a lot of the essentials you would want for outdoorsy or bushcrafty stuff, right? It's got the saw, it's got the blade, and it has a serrated blade. Now this serrated blade is meant as a gut hook, but you know, you can use it for other things too. That actually made my top 5 Swiss Army knives just because the combination of being fairly thin and having a lot of useful stuff. I actually do, you know, I like it for a lot of things better than I like this, which is, they're the same thickness. And this, of course, is the Work Champ. You know, this is definitely a beast of a Swiss Army knife. It has the 5 very useful longer tools. You know, if you want to carry a multi-tool and you don't really need large pliers, consider this. If you do need large pliers, well then, you know, get a Leatherman, SOG, or Victorinox, you know, pliers-based multi-tool. This is also similar to 2 other models, the Outrider, which I have, I just don't have with me, and there's one called the Hercules, which is really good too. And the difference between the Work Champ, the Outrider, and the Hercules, it really comes down to just plus or minus a few of the longer tools, and there's like there's like an extra Phillips screwdriver or something, but all 3 of those models you should consider. In fact, in the text description box, I'll include a list of the larger size ones that I particularly like, and you can browse at your leisure. Alright, back to the Parachutist. You know, I really don't think the Parachutist is one of the better models. I gotta be honest, there's a lot of other models that I would prefer for many roles. But the problem with that is that most people that want like an aggressive, full-size, fully serrated blade, most people want that for rescue work. And given that that does not have one-handed opening, I mean, it kind of, it's like contradicts that point, you know? So if you want 2 different blades and you're not really having to open it with one hand, then okay, get this. How many people fit that category? I don't even know, dude. And that's really why I was kind of just using it to talk about the serrations, because it is very educational to show how those serrations are done and what they can do, and as a segue to talk about the other models. In fact, I kind of wish they would take that serrated blade and just stick it on some of these other models. In fact, they wouldn't necessarily have to make this wider because there is one slot that's occupied by smaller tools. They could just take that slot and include the serrated blade and then put like a combo opener in that slot for the one Phillips, and you'd still have the other Phillips. Now, incidentally, you can technically open the serrated blade one-handed. It's just very dangerous. But just in case you're ever in an emergency, you can do it. Basically, well, this is how I would do it. I would just open it to that degree, and then I wouldn't use my... You can use your finger to push on the side, but you're quite likely to... you could cut yourself, so I'm going to... Hold on. I'm just going to hook it on the table. Just hook it on any convenient thing and open it the rest of the way. So yeah, technically, if you absolutely had to, you could open that one-handed, but it's certainly not, you know, easy or convenient. Alright, so final conclusion. The Parachutist, not one of my favorite models, but it was still cool showing those serrations, and it was a good opportunity to review some of my favorite larger size Victorinox knives. Alright, so I hope you enjoyed this Multi-Tool Monday. Please check out the links and try to do your normal shopping and browsing through those links. It does help support the channel. This has been We All Juggle Knives. I'm out.